Good morning, everyone. Today is February 2nd, 2023, and it is day 22 of Worthy Words. Yes, 222. Day 22 on the 2nd of February, the second month. Oh, 2222. Yes, if you're into numbers. I have no idea what that means. I do know that there is something to numerology, but do I know it all? Absolutely not. I don't know it all. If I want to know, I'll look it up. And it's exactly 10 o'clock in the morning. So there might be something to this, might be a special day today. And it might just be a special day because of the topic I'm going to talk about today. So what I'm going to talk about is what are healthy things to be certain of in your life, in my life, why it's important. So let's see here. Let's start like I do with most videos and discuss what certain means. Some people, they don't really understand the definitions of certain words they use, and certain means that you're free from doubt. You have no reservations. You're confident in what you know. You have, or I have, established within oneself what you think and believe and why you think and believe that way. It's not just good enough to think a certain way. You have to know why you think a certain way. Yes, that is a healthy thing, is to know why you believe the way you do. And here's an example. You can believe that the refrigerator is plugged in. But if you don't know for certain, if you have not gone and checked to make sure that you've plugged it in or opened up the refrigerator and seen the light on and know that it's cooling, you're not certain that that refrigerator is actually working. You can believe that somebody loves you, but until you see evidence of it, you are not certain that they do. And these things take time. Relationships take time. And that was something that I lacked in my life in the past. I didn't take time to let relationships grow. And when I did, they turned out to be really good relationships. So, definitely being certain of things in your life is a healthy thing to do. And when you are suffering with things like childhood traumas or recovering from domestic violence situations, when you've got complex post-traumatic stress disorder, when you're not feeling well, these are all things that can interfere with the ability to make correct decisions. And to make a correct decision for oneself, you have to be certain of things that you're dealing with. So, one of the things that really was a problem in my life in the past is that childhood trauma started from a very young age. I was still in the crib when the childhood traumas started. And so I never learned really who I was. I started figuring it out around age 7 or 8, but then another childhood trauma occurred and I just went into a shell. I became extremely introverted. And so I really didn't come into myself until more recently. And what I mean by that is that, yes, I've had friends. Yes, oh boy. All right. So I think I need to take this a different route. So senior year of high school, I had a very close friend, Christopher Adams, who he and I spent a lot of time together, and he spent a lot of his time trying to make me laugh and smile. And it doesn't mean that I didn't have other friends prior to Christopher Adams, but Christopher Adams went way out of his way to put a smile on my face. So that should tell you just how introverted I was by that time. I, prior to that, had attempted to have friendships. I had friends I spoke to. One friend in particular I could think of, I was on the phone with her, you can say every day. But I was a teenager. I tried to forget about my problems. I tried to move forward with my life. And it didn't stop me from feeling the weight of the world by the time I met Christopher Adams. Now, because Christopher Adams has always been concerned with my emotional health, he might not have realized then what he was doing, but he was concerned with my emotional health. And that left us with a connection that's lasted a lifetime, except for the years that I had no memory. I had to relearn who Christopher Adams was. He called me one day and I had no idea who he was. And I had to tell him, I had an accident. I don't really remember you very well. And he said, well, you're going to get to know me all over again. So, and we have, but, and the memory of being in the cafeteria during senior year of high school and Christopher Adams working on making me laugh and smile, has returned, but most of the memories with Christopher Adams back then have not, just maybe a handful. But I do know that he holds a special place in my heart because of this. There are certain people in your life that you just don't forget unless you have amnesia, and then you don't know them and you got to relearn them all over again. And then when the memories come back, like I've got another friend, I'm not going to say her name, but I've had a few memories come back as to how close she and I were in high school, but she and I really haven't reestablished that relationship. We've talked a little bit, but not very much. But I know we used to be close, and I know she's a good friend. And I count her among my good friends, even though I can't say that she and I have spent any time together really into my adulthood. And that's okay. She's got her life to live. I've got my life to live. But she holds a special place in my heart. And I've got multiple people that hold a special place in my heart that I have not seen over the years or had much contact with over the years. They still are there in my heart. And even though I don't have a lot of memories of them, I know I was close to these people. and they meant and still mean the world to me, that they were there, that they were a part of my life, that they shared a part of my life with me. And I am certain of these things. I might not have, all the memories there, but I am certain of these things. And so I cling to these things. When I have days where I realize, I really don't have very many people to talk to, I remind myself, I have friends. I am worthy of being loved. I have the ability to have connections with people. And I remind myself of these things when I'm feeling down, when I am struggling. Other things that I am certain of are my likes and dislikes. What activities do I like to do? I don't like to journal like I used to. I used to journal when I was in high school. And I know this because the memory of all these spiral notebooks came back that I used to write a lot. And now it feels more like a chore. I do it because I have to, not necessarily because I want to. So, and do I really have to take my time out to do that when there's so many other things that I enjoy? But you know what? The journaling is good for me. So I might not like it, but it's good for me. And I'm certain that it's good for me. So I have journaling on my list of things to do. I am certain that I like connecting with people. I love people. I actually love people in general. And I hate it. I absolutely dislike it when I have to stay away from people that I love, that are deep in my heart. The bells you're hearing, I'm going to ignore them, but yes, there are bells going off in my house. Anyway, I'm a lover of people, and if you connect with me, I love you. I have a huge heart, and I really dislike pushing people away. I really dislike having to cut people out of my life or off my Facebook page, or I really dislike blocking people. So if I block somebody, there is a very good reason that I do so. And I am absolutely certain that it is the best thing for me and for them. Okay? But even the majority of the people that I have blocked from my Facebook, I have not blocked them from my phone. And that's because if they want to call me and talk to me, I will talk to them. I will talk to them. There's only a few that I have blocked on my phone. And if I've blocked you on my phone, there's a very good reason I've blocked you on my phone. And I know that people that I have pulled away from because it is in my mental health interest that watch my videos. And I'm okay with them watching my videos. I don't care. They're free to do whatever they want to do. But I am also certain that I will be treated with respect. That if you want to talk to me, with respect. You want to encourage me. You want to, because you've known me all my life, you want to thank me for the changes I've made in my life. You want to ask me why I've made certain decisions in my life. I will gladly answer those. But to keep, like a witch hunt, to keep pointing the finger and saying, you've done this when I'm not doing this anymore, I've got a problem with that. If you can't look at me and see the growth that I have had over the years, there's a problem with that. And if you have not been a part of my life and helped me grow and become the person that I am, there's a problem with that. If you're spreading lies about me because, sorry, I forgot to silence my computer. Let me do that now. Okay, there we go. We won't hear that noise anymore. I was talking about lies. If you want to keep spreading lies that I haven't been diagnosed with amnesia when I have medical proof that I've been diagnosed with amnesia, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep telling the lies. But you're not going to have contact with me as long as you are. If you're close enough to me in relationships, if you're family members, rather than believing the lies, ask me. Hey, so-and-so said that you don't really have amnesia, that you were never diagnosed with it, that you're just using it, that you're just pretending. Would you mind if I see that medical record? You know what? If you're a family member, if you're close enough to me, I have no problem showing you the proof because I have it. But as long as you're going to keep spreading the lies and believing the lies, sorry. I'm not going there. I'm not doing that, and I am certain of it. And these are healthy things to be certain of. Because I've been hurt. I've been majorly hurt. And I still have a relative that's hurt me all my life. Practically all my life. And still going at it. And I am certain I'm done with it. Absolutely certain of it. I wish that wasn't the case. I'd love to have better relationships with these people. I would love it. But it's not worth my mental health. Not worth it. I struggle with my mental health every day, and I do not need any more negativity in my life. So I'm certain of how I want to be treated. I'm certain that I don't want to be taken advantage of again. There's been several people in my life that have taken advantage of me. They have taken advantage of the fact that I have memory issues to get what they want. And I have had men in my life that have pushed their way and not asked me how I felt about a certain situation. They've not asked me my opinion. They have not taken my opinion into consideration. They have pushed me aside. They have subjected me to certain things that I should have never been subjected to. And I'm not taking that anymore. Since my accident, I have been in some relationships that have done so much harm that it has caused me to rise up and say, no more. No more. I was very vulnerable and I was taken advantage of. And not doing that again. I am certain I want to live. I am certain I want to be a better person than I was yesterday, or 20 years ago, or even 40 years ago. I am certain of it. And I will work every day on being a better version of myself. And sometimes I have to take time outs. Everybody needs a break every now and then, mentally, emotionally, physically. Okay? I am absolutely certain that it is in our best interests to take a time out. And I am certain that I deserve love, that I am worthy of love, that I am worthy of being protected. And when I say protected, there's so many different ways to protect somebody. Okay? So when you know somebody else is lying, stand up and say, you're lying. She hasn't done this. She hasn't done that. And I've seen her paperwork, and I know she's telling you the truth. That's one way to protect somebody. Protection is not always about jumping on the person that has entered your home illegally. Though that's a good way to protect somebody, okay? To apprehend somebody that has walked into the house that shouldn't be there and keep them from harming you and somebody else and calling the police and having them arrested. Yes, that's a way to protect. But that's not the only way to protect. And when you're in a relationship with somebody, you need to protect their heart. You need to protect their reputation. You need to protect their trust in you. And if you cannot do those things, you are not ready for a relationship with me or anybody else. You have to work on yourself. You have to. And if you think that lying or not protecting somebody that you love and speaking up for what the truth is going to make your relationship better with that person, it won't. It won't. And you have to have understanding. You have to. I am certain I want a home filled with peace. And if you don't provide peace in my home, I'm not willing to share my four-wall space with you. If you cannot give me peace over the phone, if you cannot give me peace in my presence, I'm certainly not going to share a house with you. There are lots of things to be certain of. Certain of our spirituality, certain of our faith, certain of our beliefs. And these things are important because if you don't know who you are in here, you cannot protect yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to know that you are worthy of love. And if you don't know those things, how can you give them to somebody else? You have to be certain of these things too. Oh boy, I've said some things on here today I was not expecting to say. Yeah. Sometimes we need a moment of silence just to take in the message. Today's worthy word is all about being certain. Certain about things in my life and certain about things in your life. And it requires introspection sometimes. It requires thinking about who we are and what we want and what we need. Definitely what we need. And sometimes what we need and what we want are two different things. And that's just the truth of the matter. Whether or not we want something is irrelevant to whether or not we need something. The need is always greater than the want. Always. Because if you don't get what you need, you're still not going to be happy. We need food. We need shelter. We need to be able to trust ourselves. We need to be able to trust our partners. And if we cannot trust those that are in our lives, we will not get rid of the anxiety that plagues us. We will not be able to rid the depression that overcomes us. We cannot be strong and stand up on our own 2 feet if we are not certain that we need these things in our lives. Or don't. But we have to evaluate. We have to evaluate ourselves. And if there's people that you want in your life that aren't in your life, think about how you've treated them in the past. Think about it. Think about whether or not they're telling you the truth, whether or not you're absolutely certain that they have done the things that you think that they have done. Do you have proof? Can you prove it? How do you know that somebody sent you messages on the internet? How do you know it wasn't a scammer or somebody pretending to be somebody else? And if you're not aware of it, there are a lot of people that open up Facebook accounts using somebody else's name and picture to make it look like they're the ones doing it, or to make it look like that they are your friend and will befriend you on Facebook or other social media, and you'll think it's somebody you know, and it might not be. Or it might be somebody you know that's making somebody else look bad. How do you know? Have you seen this person with your own two eyes? Evaluate. Investigate. And if you're somebody that's watching this video that hasn't had communication with me in a while, there's a reason. And I'm okay with that. Miss you. Wish it was different. Would like you in my life. But it's not worth my mental health. And if you want to discuss it, I'm willing to discuss it. But if you're not willing to believe what I tell you when I'm telling you the truth, there's no point in contacting me. Not until you're ready to be understanding. Not until you're ready to have empathy. Yes, I have made some bad choices in my life. But I am not responsible for the actions that others have chosen to do. I am responsible for what I have done about it. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty, correct? Do not prove somebody guilty for something they did not do. Be certain of it first. And even the court systems have put some people in jail that did not commit the crime. And now with advances in DNA, they're finding out that some people really did not commit the crimes for which they went to jail over. And people occasionally get released when they figure this out. Sometimes somebody can look guilty and still be innocent. Be certain of what you do. Because when you're not, you can cause damage and harm to somebody that does not deserve it. And sometimes we can try our best and we're still going to fail. We're human. We will fail. Okay? And when somebody fails, ask yourself, did they intended to harm you? Now, I'm not talking about somebody with anger issues. Somebody with anger issues might not intend to harm you, but they certainly haven't intended to gain control over their anger. And they allow their anger to get the best of them, and then you're in harm's way. And don't put yourself in harm's way of somebody that's like that. Of somebody that has not put the time and effort and the energy into roping in their anger and gaining control of it. Just don't do it. But if somebody has gained control of their anger, if they are not a threat to you or your children, what harm are they doing by being human? Yeah, everybody says something we don't like, but that doesn't mean that they are harming you. It just means they have a different opinion than you. Be certain. Be certain of what you call harmful versus what you call just being a human. Nobody is perfect. Nobody. So, I hope you gleaned some insightful information on things that it's healthy to be certain over versus things that, you might have to think about and evaluate and figure out if you need to make some internal changes within yourself. I'd love to hear from you. My listeners, the people that want to make changes in their lives and come for some inspiration to move forward, to be better today than they were yesterday. Ready to make changes in your life? The way to do it is by being certain that you need to make changes in your life. And what things you want to make those changes over. And what you want to change them into. Be certain of how you want to be treated and how you want to treat others. Trauma can get passed down through the generations, but trauma doesn't have to continue. And it all starts in the way you talk to people and the way you handle yourself around people. Ask questions. If you're a family member and you want to know certain things, ask me. My phone is available to you. Call me. Ask me. I will happily answer your questions. But if you start yelling at me, if you won't believe what I'm telling you is truth, I'm not going to continue the conversation. I'm not going to lie to you. I might not remember things. I do have memory issues. And if I tell you I don't remember something, it's because I don't. But I'm not going to lie to you. Because I love you. But the family trauma stops here. It stops with me. The wrong word came out. And that's, part of this head trauma, this traumatic brain injury, is that the wrong word will come out of my mouth when I'm thinking the correct way. The wrong word will come out of the mouth anyway. And if you cannot be understanding of that, if you cannot be empathetic to that, if you want to hold that over my head, do so. But do not expect me to have that relationship with you, because I am certain that I need people in my life that love me, that know who I am, that know my heart. And if you don't, that you want to learn it. Otherwise, there's no space for you. None. As much as I want to. As much as I love you. And to the people that are not family members, you have to be that certain within yourself that you deserve the happiness, the love, the respect, the understanding, and all those other things. You are a human being, and you deserve these things too. And the trauma does not have to continue. It does not. And just because you've had it in the past doesn't mean that it needs to be in your present. So, I think I have carried on too long, and I'm sure that you're all ready for me to do these worthy words. So, here's my glass of water for those of you who do not know. Worthy words and speaking it to the water and then drinking the water is a technique that I've developed based on a combination of things, but mostly to Dr. Emoto, who did the water experiment. And I've talked about this in one of my videos. So, with that, I'm going to get started. Abundance, accepted, acclaimed, accomplished, achieved, active, adaptable, admirable, admired, affluent, ahead of time, all things beautiful, amazing, animating, appealing, approved, assured, attractive, awake, awesome, awestruck, beaming, beautiful, believed, beloved, blessed, blessings, bountiful, brave, brilliant, called, calm, careful, caring, celebrated, certain, cheerful, cherished, cleansed, comedian, composed, content, courageous, creative, creator, dear, delighted, delightful, devoted, distinguished, divine, easy, ecstatic, elegant, encouraged, encouraging, endorsed, energy, engaging, essential, excellent, expectant, exponential, effective, efficient, empowered, energetic, insured, enthused, equitable, esteemed, ethical, experienced, expert, fabulous, faithful, fascinating, favorable, favored, flourishing, found, fond, fortunate, free, friendly, fulfilled, funny, gained, generous, genius, genuine, gleeful, glowing, good, graceful, gratitude, great, growth, happy, harmony, harmonious, healed, healthy, heard, heartfelt, helped, helpful, honored, idea, igniting, imagination, immersed, impressive, income, increase, independent, informative, innovative, inspired, inspiring, instinctive, intellectual, intuitive, inventive, joyful, jubilant, knowing, known, kind, knowledgeable, laugh, legendary, light, lively, lovable, love, lucky, marvelous, meaningful, memory, merit, miracle, miraculous, motivated, motivating, moving, natural, nice, nourished, nurturing, open, opportunity, optimistic, overcomer, overjoyed, oxygen, paradise, peace, peaceful, perfect, physically fit, pleasant, plentiful, poised, popular, positive, possible, powerful, prepared, productive, progress, prominent, promise, prosperity, quality, quick, ready, reassured, reassuring, receiver, refined, refreshing, rejoice, relatable, relative, relaxed, reliable, remembered, remembering, repaired, resounding, rested, respected, restored, revived, rewarded, rewarding, right, safe, satisfied, secured, sensational, serene, shifting, skilled, skillful, soulful, sparkling, special, spirited, spiritual, star, stimulated, stimulating, stirring, strong, stunning, successful, succeeded, sunny, super, supported, surprising, terrific, thankful, thorough, thrilling. Thank you, everyone. Thriving, timely, tranquil, transformational, transformed, triumph, trusting, truthful, understanding, understood, upbeat, upright, valued, vibrant, victorious, victory, virtuous, vital, vitalizing, wanted, watched over, wealthy, welcomed, whole, wholesome, willing, wonderful, wondrous, worthy, wow, youthful, zealous. Amen. And here's to worthy words. If you have not hit the like and subscribe buttons yet, please do so. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you next time.